3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Oh no, what happened? Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay, we're live
now.
And we're live.
Yay.
Okay, you know what? We went live, and I
We're
think
live?
we turned the
We're
video
live.
off. We are live.
Yeah.
Hold on one second, folks. We're gonna do it the right way. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. Okay, now we're live again. I can't believe I actually did that. For those of you who are just tuning in, I went live and I didn't have the video queued up. So I said, okay, we're going to go live in a few seconds. And we were live and the video wasn't playing. And I'm all sitting there looking like something's going to happen, but it didn't. So welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday, April 1st. It is 6:04 p.m. now since I was slightly delayed. Welcome to another episode of Main Gate Magic. This is the Anything Can Happen Day. And as you guys can see, we have a full panel today. I am so happy to see so many faces on the screen. So we're going to first go off by saying hello to my wonderful co-hosts, Mr. Thomas and Leia. How you guys doing?
Great. Hi.
Thank you.
Good, good. Glad to see you guys here. Hope you're doing well. And
Very well.
returning as a special guest is Mr. Fun Facts, the DisneyGuy.org himself, Mr. Joshua Shaffer. Joshua, welcome back to the show.
Hello, good to be here.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Always a pleasure to have you on, buddy. You got so much fun stuff for us all the time. So great to have you. Okay, that's enough, everybody. That's enough. All right. Okay, there we go. I think it got stuck in a loop. And last but certainly not least, and Tom, you know what? I don't know if I actually pronounced your name, or if I know how to pronounce your name correctly, but is it Tom Matousek?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
you get a round of applause too, Tom. There you go. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Great fun.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to be. Okay, everybody, knock it off. Gee, many Christmas. I am just on a technological snafu tonight. So for anybody who is not aware, Tom is, I would say, a Disney artist. I mean, you've been drawing Disney stuff for quite a while, and the only thing that I really have known about you so far is that you actually have artwork that is sold in the Disney Gallery at Disneyland. Is that right?
Well, I know it's been at Off the Page at DCA.
That's where I
Off the
work.
page.
That's where I
Aha.
work.
Oh,
I
no
work there.
kidding, Thomas.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Wait, you're
awesome.
talking him.
Small world.
I've seen
Oh,
it
yeah.
in the Disney Gallery.
I work at Off the Page basically every Saturday, every Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, I had my tiki stitch there, I know, but because my publisher doesn't, it's funny thing how licensing works, but my claim to fame at Disneyland was that in a couple years ago, Club 33 celebrated their 55th anniversary, and they commissioned me to do their anniversary piece. So although I haven't had my stuff in the galleries at Disneyland, I did have the honor of having my work featured at Club 33, which was pretty
Nice.
much the holy grail of Disney art experiences for sure.
That's wonderful. The
That's
Disney
amazing.
Gallery, yeah. I forgot to, yeah. So, well, that's amazing. And I think one of the pieces that you have, and I think, Josh, you actually have that same piece in your house, right? The one that's right behind you, Tom, is that correct?
Oh
do.
yeah, probably. I threw up something. I didn't throw up. I put something up that I thought would be a little bit more. I wanted to get something Disney. That's typically hanging on my wall, and I've been working on a bunch of non-Disney stuff currently, building up a body of work. You can see the Prince back there is one of my new ones, but yeah, this one's been a pretty popular piece. So thanks for having it, Josh.
Yeah.
And-
No, it's one of Ashley's favorites. So
Very cool.
yeah.
I like it too. I don't have any pieces of yours in my home, but I would certainly love to add it. And Tom, I actually have your webpage up. Are you okay if I share that on screen with everybody?
It hasn't been done in like 8 years, and I'm getting ready to redo it. You can share it, definitely.
Okay, it's just
things have progressed quite a ways.
like you're not going to get in trouble or anything like that if I show it on the show. Okay, that's the only thing that I'm really concerned about.
I'm not.
All right, so for those who want to know Tom's style, this is exactly what he's got right here, and there is some amazing stuff.
Wow.
And what style of art would you call this? I think Josh may have called it like cubism or something like that. Is that right?
That's the common term that people refer to it, but I think more accurately it's abstract impressionism.
Oh, I love Mickey Mouse here in the middle. That's amazing.
Tom, what do you use to do this? Do you use like paint or
no computers. People often ask if if it's done digitally. It's not. I do a design on paper first, and then once I'm happy with the design, I take a picture with my phone. I plug my phone into a projector, and I project my lines onto the canvas because I'm going from something this big to this big. And then once I have my lines up on the canvas, then I start painting, filling things in. So my big thrill right now is that I've been focused on a way to add texture to my artwork. And so over the last few months, I've been looking at all the artists that I really like and inspire me, looking at my art and what I would like to do differently. And so taking all that information in and trying to create better art than I ever have before. And I'm pretty excited about the direction I'm heading right now. Recently, Josh may have seen, I did a Sorcerer Mickey, which was unveiled at the Festival of Arts at Epcot.
Yeah.
And it received a real warm welcome, and it sold. So, that's always a good thing. But yeah, it was affirming, and I know that I'm on the right path to something new. Because if you're doing the same thing over and over as an artist, you kind of get stagnant and it becomes a job. You really want to keep the fire burning and do new things. So I've got some pretty interesting new stuff that I'm working on. I can't show or share it just yet.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. In fact, yeah, I had I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tim Rogerson. He was over for dinner the other night. He's arguably the biggest name in Disney art in the world, if not one of the biggest. And he was in town for a signing, and we're friends. And I pulled it out to show him. He was like, "Dude, I have never seen anything like this before." So that was some. He was like, "Yeah," and so that was pretty big praise for me to hear from him.
That's great
because he's seen a lot. So I'll keep an eye out for it. Won't be till probably November, December that I'm able to share it. But yeah, just messing around, experimenting a lot right now.
So how did you get started with art? Did you study, or did you go to just self-taught? I mean, I know there's a lot of different stories from different artists and everything. So what kind of got your foot in the door, so to speak?
Yeah, that's just what Tim and I were talking about the other night, saying that everybody's story is different. And my story is definitely different. When I was young, my father asked what I want to be when I grow up. I said, I want to be an artist. He said, you can't be an artist. It's too competitive. You'll never make it. So be an engineer. So I never pursued it. I didn't pursue being an engineer either, but I was always drawing and always dabbling.
Sure.
Right. You know, if you're an artist, you're an artist and you just can't help it. So I wandered a lot, ended up working in the snowboard industry, snowboard shops in Colorado. I ended up doing some snowboard graphic designs just for fun, just because I knew people that needed some design. So I did that, and I thought that was pretty cool. But when I was 44, I decided I didn't want to die wondering what might have happened. So I, dug in and pursued it with all that I had, and not knowing what I was doing. Being a Disney artist wasn't on my radar. I built my reputation as a portrait painter, like the Prince painting back there. And it was, long story short, the right person saw my work and introduced it to the CEO of Disney Fine Art, and they said, if he likes it, he'll call you. If he doesn't like it, he won't call you. And he called, and we met, and I created a body of work. And then about 9 months later, they officially offered me a contract, and it was launched at not Off the Page, I can't remember, Art of Disney, maybe in Disney Springs in Florida was the first place. Yeah, so it was a pretty wild ride. I actually had someone, because I started later. I'm 60 years old now, and the idea that of starting later in life, someone made a short documentary about my journey. It's excellent. It's called Midlife Creativity, and exploded on YouTube. At least exploded in my eyes. It's got almost 160 views now, and hundreds of comments. People saying it's just what they needed to hear, and
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So it was one thing to pursue my dreams, but to find that there's more to the story than just trying to make a living as an artist. I'm going, hey, I didn't realize that this story would connect with so many people. So now I've got some other things in the works along those lines too that I won't get into just yet. I don't want to jinx myself, but one day.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, congratulations for number one, finding your lane and sticking to it. Because I mean,
Yeah,
hey, what do parents know, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm a parent. I never told my kids, no, you shouldn't do this. No, you shouldn't do that. I encourage them to do the things that I would like them to do, but I still kind of let them discover their own thing. And you did something I think a lot of us have a difficult time doing, is following your dream and making it happen. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I know that doing stuff like this is the things that make me happy. So, I mean, hey, if I can end up doing that for the rest of my life, then I'll never work again, ever at all. So,
yeah, right. Well, I think the hard part, so many people, talk about dreaming. Oh, dream bigger and believe. That only gets you so far. I had a regular job. I had to get up. So the issue was finding time to paint. So I was like, am I serious about this or am I not? So I started getting up at 4 and 5 in the morning to paint before work. And I'd get home from work and, make dinner, whatever, and do family things, and then paint some more, and it took years and years of that. So people see the good part, but they don't understand that dreaming is nothing without any action. And culture today, everybody wants instant gratification. It just doesn't work like that. I could say I want 6-pack abs more than anything in the world, but unless I'm willing to give up cheeseburgers and beer and do the
you got to put in the work. Yeah, exactly.
Happen. So there's sacrifice that goes along with it.
And it's more gratifying when you have to work for it. You feel more proud of yourself.
That's exactly right. If it was easy, it wouldn't be nearly as gratifying, but the payoff is huge. No doubt.
I think taking that first step is always the hardest thing, but when you start seeing the rewards of your work, that's when it becomes, oh, okay, I like this. This is what I really want to do now.
Yeah.
So Josh, when did you first meet Tom, and where was that at?
I want to say it was 2017. or 2018 maybe. It was at a Golden Gate Disneyana Club meeting, and he was the guest speaker.
Oh,
Is that where
nice.
that first time was, Josh?
Yeah,
Wasn't stage 9 or anything like that?
No, I still haven't been to stage 9.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Fill me in. What is stage 9? I'm not
Wait
familiar
till
with
you
that.
see what he's done to the place. Oh my. Okay, so, do you want me to tell him?
Yeah, go ahead.
So stage 9 is, one of the top Disney retailers of fine art in the country. You wouldn't believe it. It's right here in Old Sacramento, and it's like going to Disneyland, where down Main Street, where you've got shop after shop connected. There's a candy store, a toy store, trinkets and souvenirs, and then there's the underground vault. So you go underground,
No
down a
way.
staircase to an art gallery where he's selling memorabilia from Disneyland. He's got tiki masks from like the tiki room for sale, and
Oh my
he
goodness.
just blew out the wall and turned it into a speakeasy. It is, and you would think you're in the tiki room. He's actually got animatronics done by Garner Holt.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it is unreal. It's you've got to get here to check it out. So
wait, is that
no other place on earth?
Is
That's
that what it
Old
was like back
Sacramento?
then?
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go on.
Leia first. That's Old Sacramento is what she said? Is that
Yeah,
what
I've
you said?
been there. So wow.
Oh yeah, you've got to get here. It's amazing. So because I'm the token local, I'm what they call their artist in residence. So with all the shows that he hosts, I go in there as a guest regularly. So I know generally all the collectors, and of course all the great people with the Disneyana fan club, the Golden Gate Disneyana fan club. Yeah. So I'm sorry to interrupt, Josh. You were
that's good.
Met at that club meeting.
Yeah, it was at the Stolly's house, and we talked in the kitchen and stuff, and then we started talking about Disney pins.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think
no
that
idea
was
it was such a big thing.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 maybe.
That sounds about right.
2018. Yeah. And then you were at MouseCon. You had a booth at MouseCon.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know if Jason saw you there. It might have been the year right before Jason started going, so I don't think he ever saw you.
Okay.
There. But usually when Tom's at events like this, because he's been at the booth at D23 Expo, he'll paint and people can come up and talk to him while he's painting.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. I mean, I'm like, somebody pinched me. I get to do this for real?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Josh, did they have all that tiki stuff there when you were that Tom was just talking about? Because I know you have kind of an affinity for tiki stuff.
No, it was at the that was at the D23. He was in their booth at the D23 Expo. I haven't actually been to them here in Sacramento.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They actually asked me to have a book signing there, and then I reached out and emailed a couple times, and then never heard back. I kind of forgot.
Wait! A book signing? Wait, did you have a book made, Josh? Maybe people might want to know about that. What book did you make?
Yeah, I have my book, Discovering the Magic Kingdom, an unofficial Disneyland vacation guide, Volume 1
Shut up.
and 2. Yeah, or edition 1, edition 2. Yeah,
Does it come in a hardcover, Josh?
Not anymore. Those are gone.
Oh, I'm one of the lucky ones.
You're one of the lucky ones. They all sold out. I do have paperbacks left. I haven't been able to go to a lot of events recently because I've been working so much. It's hard to get time off and time away because the way our schedule works is we have to cover. Yep, there it is. We have to cover mandatories. So if someone calls out sick, we take turns covering the shift, so we can't go away on our days off in case we have to go to work.
Yeah.
So and Josh, you do PR work for Tinkerbell.
Somebody
who's been on our show.
Yeah. Gina Rock, the longest flying Tinkerbell in Disneyland history. She flew from 1983 to 2005. So if you saw the fireworks between 83 and 05, it was more than likely her.
It was Gina.
Her sister-in-law. Yeah.
She was such a delight to have on the show. I love her. She was great.
No, she's great.
And then you did some work with Miss Terry Harden, who we've also had on our show before.
Yep.
She's an amazing artist.
Yes, we co-create pins together. So I think we've done like 12 designs, which I do need to update that. There's some that are missing. And I wrote her mini biography, which is right there on that link. Kind of like it's more like a timeline of events with all of the projects that she worked on with Disney Imagineering and the sculpting that she's done and movies that she's been in, the stuff for Jim Henson. Yeah, I stay busy.
And then, of course, let's not forget about the liquor tasting with my wife.
Yep,
I know it's a show that you do. You still do those on Fridays?
Yeah, if I have off. So we did a live tasting last Friday, and it was because I went over the drinks that we have when I go to fire school in Texas, because I'm an industrial firefighter at my job that I have as just something that we have to be trained to do in case there's an emergency. And we go to Texas to train. So after, fighting fires during the day, which are controlled in a place, it's a
so far.
Yeah, because I work at a refinery, so they have refinery props and they set them on fire. But yeah, it's really cool. They also have a disaster city there, which is like collapsed buildings and crashed trains and crashed airplanes, so that emergency response companies all over the United States come there to practice, like rescuing and putting out fires and stuff like that, but hazmat stuff. But
that's really cool.
You go out
Joshua, that sounds like Universal Studios, where they have like the subway that breaks and water comes crashing in.
That's what I thought of when I saw it.
Yeah.
But
you should work there.
We'd go to get drinks at bars and stuff and hang out and get food. And so there were these specific drinks that the guys really got into on some of the trips, and so we made them on Friday night and tried them. One of them's Dirty Shirley, which is just a Shirley Temple with alcohol. But nobody had them, and the bar ran out of grenadine. It was the one at our hotel, so they ran out of grenadine, and nobody else could get them. And then this last time I went, it was called a Black Superman, and it has a mixture. It's got gin, vodka, white rum, what else? Chambard, raspberry liqueur, and blue curacao.
Good Lord.
That sounds like a coma.
It's almost like a Long Island iced tea with no
I was
coke.
gonna
It's
say,
just got like a bunch of stuff, but it
everything
was really
but the
good.
kitchen sink.
Yeah, so we made those, but we don't get to do them as often as we used to. But we do have our podcast, Tipsy Takes, where we read Reddit stories and review a whole bottle of something. Like we take shots between stories and then talk about it. We get a little tipsy by the end.
That's awesome.
That we do pretty regularly. I'm behind on editing because I got to sit and listen to it and actually edit it out. And in my free time, I've been writing my books because I got a new set of books that I'm writing right now. And I just
more fun facts
at work. Oh yeah, and it's all movies. I'm writing it as it's all just movies, so it's not the parks. It's not the Disney parks fun facts this time. It's just movies.
Yeah, thank God, because we're bored of Disney parks, right?
But we're
not here.
I'm writing it as one big book, and then I'm cutting it into like 4 volumes. But each volume will have all of the movies in it, so that you'll get different information about those same movies. So you can get each Star Wars movie, each Pixar film, each Walt Disney animated film in each volume, and then have just different fun facts depending on which volume you get. And right now it's longer than Bible.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's close to 700,000 words. Bible's like 680,000 or something.
I feel like one of your disciples.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is the Harry Potter books, the 7 Harry Potter books are a little over 1 million words.
Oh Lord.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot. I've been working on these books since 2017.
Yeah. Long time.
Wow.
It's a lot.
I forgot we are neglecting our guests in the chat. Yeah, or not our guests, but our fans in the chat. Yeah. We've got our number 1 fan, Miss Patricia Gillum. Hi, Patricia. It's great to see you. And Mr. C. Andrew Nelson, who says, I absolutely love Tom's art style.
Oh, thank you, Darth Vader.
Yeah, he says greetings from the dark side, everyone. So I guess you have met
good man
Andrew before, yes. And then Patricia earlier talking about the place you said in Old Sacramento. She's like, that would be a fun place to visit, and I agree.
No question.
My eyes lit up when you started talking about like, you know, the speakeasy layout
Yeah.
and the animatronics and everything. So,
Yeah.
and then we also have a new friend of mine now. I just met him this last Sunday, Mr. Van O'Brien. He the second, apparently, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that about you, Van. But he runs Kyber Caves, and he does they make lightsabers, and he also has another podcast as well, where they just talk about like nerdy stuff. And there's Disney things in there as well. I watched a couple of episodes of his. Really great show. He invited me to be on. I'll be on his show probably. I think we decided it was going to be at the end of this coming month, at the end of April. So I'm going to be on his show, and he's going to come over and be on ours, and we're going to do a little collaboration here and just have a lot of fun.
Nice. Send us the link, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, it'll be something that I'll put on my site or the Main Gate Magic site and everything. And
Hi, Dan.
Andrew's saying hello to Van, and we got Mr. Jerry Cornell in the house. He
Jerry.
says hello. Oh,
Jerry.
hello, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
So Tom, have you met Jerry Cornell before as well? Because he and Andrew are kind of simpatico. We're all part of the same family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Con, probably every time, I think.
Makes
Right?
sense. Yep,
Right?
MouseCon, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, which one do you tend to go to? Do you go to all the MouseCons, or do you just go to the one that's in Concord?
No, it's been the one at Concord, but the problem I've been having, I'm in a sort of a rhythm now, and there's different events that I prepare for over the course of the year, and they're kind of stacked up in the autumn, and they lately have the last few years been kind of interfering with MouseCon, and I can't pass up these events because they're big deals. They're pretty big VIP events, either at Walt's Ranch or down in Florida, in Orlando, at a gallery down there, Promenade Fine Art. And so, yeah, I do a lot of time getting ready for those, prepping, and we'll see. Maybe this year I'll be able to make, because I think it's like the first week of November every year, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, first Sunday of November.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. I hope it's growing. It seems like it is every year.
Thomas,
Yeah,
I want to
was,
switch over. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joshua. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it was pretty busy last year.
So Thomas, I want to switch over to you because you said you actually work in the place where Tom's art is sold, or has been sold at least. What kind of pictures do you see in there that are they still up, or is it just something that it was there at some point?
I think that a lot of the product has been it's almost like the legend of Tom Matousek, because it's a bit sporadic, but you do occasionally see a piece, or just because they do a lot of rearranging on the walls. So I do catch a glimpse. When I saw the website screen share, I recognized a few of the pieces. Yeah.
And do you get a lot of questions while you're there about Tom's art, or if there's anything available for sale there? Don't shake your head, no, Tom. Come on.
You don't have to lie, because I mean, I'll let you answer, but I'm not a park artist. I'm a gallery, so my stuff typically gets shown in places that are not in the park. So you're selling stuff like Noah and Daniel Killen, right? Who's genius. Those guys are amazing. Darren Wilson, probably. So I'll let you go on. But I just want to let you know, you don't have to make it sound like, oh yeah. Is
your stuff in the Wonderground Gallery in downtown Disney?
No, we're not affiliated with them either.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen your pieces though at the store here and there, like, because I recognized some of them as they were shown on the screen.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I'm standing up. I'm gonna disappear for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, we lost him already. Well, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a good time. Oh, there we go.
This one was there.
Yeah,
this is the one that I know that was there.
Yeah,
I like that one.
And I wish it's been a dream of mine to see my art hanging up in a gallery there. So I did go in shortly after, and it was gone by the time I went in there. But All good.
I have a question. Where did your inspiration come to make your art like kind of tall and narrow instead of like a more like square or semi-rectangle shape?
Yeah. You know, the idea is that not everybody has a big wall to hang a big piece of art, but everybody has two doors with a small wall in between, or two windows with a skinny wall in between. So these are designed to fill that space.
No
Right?
way. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was the whole idea there.
That's
I love
wonderful.
the shape. I'm
Yeah.
submitting a concept to do a Rapunzel piece
Mm.
along those lines. Like we'll call it a 4-to-1 ratio, which I mean this tiki stitch is a 3-to-1, and so it'll be even it'll be even taller and skinnier than that. But yeah,
Most of it'll be hair.
Will it be
What's
the
that?
tower?
There'll be a
hair?
lot of hair. Well, you would think. You would think. We'll see.
Oh,
There'll be
okay.
a little twist. I love that movie.
Now, did your art? I mean, I'm assuming that these pieces you still have prints made. You still sell them, things like that. I mean, people can still get them online.
Oh yeah, yeah. The way it works is I'm under contract. My contract says that I'll give them a reasonable amount of work in a reasonable amount of time. So it's not like I've got somebody cracking the whip over me. It's just the more I give them, the more opportunities I'm going to have. And so I have what I'm licensed to do is animated Disney movies. So like Mary Poppins, I can paint the penguins, but I can't paint Julie Andrews or Dick.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So anything animated, Disney animated movies, Muppets, Pixar, Haunted Mansion, and Nightmare Before Christmas. So those are the things that I'm allowed to paint. And so I'll get ideas one way or another. And all right, so then I do a sketch. I have to submit it for approval. Once the concept's approved, then I can paint it. Then I paint the picture. I take a picture of it on my easel. It has to be on my easel. I have to see the easel for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then once it's approved, I varnish it and ship it to my publisher. And then they determine if they'll make prints or just sell it as a one of a kind. Because not everything, they can't publish everything that everyone gives them. There's just, it would be impossible. So, yeah, some stuff is, there's just quite a bit available. You know, DisneyFineArt.com will sell it. You know, Disney Fine. Is it backwards like the way that I'm seeing myself?
No, I see it front ways.
It's
Is
yeah,
it
it's
right?
right.
Yeah.
All right. You know, so
Yeah.
DisneyFineArt.com.
Yeah.
Stage9.com.
I have a question. Do you
Sure.
freehand your art like the Beast and Belle behind you? You freehand
Oh,
those
you know what?
geometric shapes?
You know, I do sketch, but I'm using rulers.
That makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, I'm freehanding it, you know, with the rulers and stuff like that. You know,
Wow.
and you know, so there might be times where I'm using templates and things like that, or whatnot. But
This goes without saying, but your art is like using rulers or whatever, your measurements and it's absolutely perfect. Like I
thanks,
think
yeah.
that's why
I'm
people
not
mistake
measuring,
it for
but
being
I'm using the lines.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot of people ask if I use math, and I don't use any math in them. I just
That's
can't.
too hard.
You just have talent. You have a good
Eyeball,
eye.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you draw the sketch of the characters first, then add the straight lines to make the shapes over top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have to kind of go back to something, Tom, because, you know, when we were asking Thomas about, you know, do people ask about the art that you've had in there and stuff like that? And you're like, oh, no, you don't have to say this and that and the other, you know, because, you know, I'm no, you listed a few other names and you're being very humble, and I appreciate that. But I got to go back to your site here and show everybody that you've got a testimonials part on here from people like Bob Gurr, who says, I am never at a loss for words, but right now I am speechless. And but you and Bob are holding up a picture of himself that you did in your style. And I'm describing this for our listeners who don't watch the show, but rather listen to it. And then you've done other portraits as well, but I also want to kind of scroll down here because I saw a few others. Some of these I'm not as familiar with, but I am going to mention one more name drop, which I saw here earlier. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Mr. Marty Sklar said, when I first saw Tom's work, I said, wow, that is so fresh and distinctive. I have a Mickey Mouse that Tom painted that I know all my associates who drew Mickey for Walt Disney would love.
Wow.
I can't think of any other greater compliments from such iconic people that have been involved with Disney over the years than those two alone, let alone all the other testimonials that are on here and the other work that you've done. So, I mean, don't sell yourself short, man. I mean, this is amazing stuff.
I've had, like I said, going into this whole journey, I had no idea what I was getting into. And so I've seen what I call miracles, left and right. They just hit, and you just don't know what's going to happen next. So, the Marty Sklar thing was incredible, because the way I first met him. So I was the artist in residence for a large corporation, DDR Corporation. They manage all the properties for Target, Kohl's, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, bunch of others, and they sent me around the country to create community art projects based on the way that I paint. And it was through one of those events that I met a gal who was an intern with the Ryman Arts Foundation. And she invited me to a fundraiser for Ryman Arts. And I don't know if you guys know Ryman Arts, but Herb Ryman did the original drawings of Disneyland for Walt Disney so that he could get the loan to build Disneyland.
Oh my.
That's huge.
So when I found out that this was a sort of a Disney event, I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'll count me in. So the event was held at Marty's house in the Hollywood Hills. So I'm there in his house, not even knowing who he is. I'm seeing him standing there in his living room with his wife, Leah, and just, I'm like, turning to my wife, I'm like, this guy must be somebody big with Disney, I don't know. And we were leaving the event. I did, it was that night that I met a woman. Yeah, I don't mean to go off on a big tangent, but I think it's pretty interesting that this woman, wanted to meet me. We hit it off immediately. And when she found out that I told my wife that I wanted to go to Disneyland for my 50th birthday, this woman said, oh, have you ever been to Club 33? I was like, no. She said, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you and your family 4 3-day park hopper passes. I'm going to take you to Club 33 for your birthday. 2 of the days are going to be with the escort, with front of line privileges and everything like this.
Yeah, like the VIP.
Yeah. It was out of control. And so it was when we were in line for soaring over California, that's when she said, oh, I know who needs to see your work is such and such with Disney Fine Arts. So that was the connection. But yeah, so
she's
then
like your fairy godmother.
Yeah, she truly was. And so when I finally when I did sign with Disney, my very first event was here at Stage 9 along with Marty Sklar. So I reconnected with him. By then I knew who he was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening. Well, we then appeared, at a number of events together. We ended up corresponding with written letters to each other. And he ended up commissioning me to do a painting of himself for his family. And that may sound egotistical, but it wasn't whatsoever. I had sent him a card with a painting of my painting of Mother Teresa on it, and comically he commented and said, hey, if I don't know better, I don't know, is that a picture of me? Because if it's available, I'd like to buy it for my family. And I laughed and I said, no, it's not. It's Mother Teresa. And but I'm happy to paint you for you if you want. So he did, and he saw it. I emailed him the image. He loved it. I shipped it to him. It arrived at his house on a Wednesday morning. It was the Wednesday that he passed away, unfortunately.
Oh.
So he never saw the hard copy, but his wife assured me that it's hanging in a prominent place in their home. Someone was visiting there recently too and said, hey, I couldn't believe I saw your painting of him hanging in this very special place of the house. So what a huge honor. And he was really something, no question. So gracious. I remember talking with him on the phone, and I almost couldn't hear his voice because all I kept thinking was, you're on the phone with Marty Sklar. You know, you're turning white and, you know, in fear and trying to hold your composure in disbelief. But
Yeah.
So Marty Sklar is pretty special to me.
Andrew says that is wonderful.
Thank
What
you.
an amazing story. You are so blessed, Tom. Yeah, that's a special moment. I mean, that's something that you'll just never forget.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
I wanted to kind of show off a little bit of the Disney Fine Art site as well, because I know that you said when we were looking at your website, it didn't have like quite everything on there, but this page does have, from what I can tell, a lot of stuff on here, and there are some other things on here that I didn't see that I'm just blown away by.
I like
Stuff that I wouldn't mind having in my home as art. And now my apartment, you know, you and I were talking about our living spaces and everything, and how, you know, you just kind of make it your own. Our living room is all Haunted Mansion stuff. I would love.
No kidding.
This. Oh yeah, we have Haunted Mansion curtains that have the wallpaper prints on them with the eyes that actually glow in the dark, and it's set behind our big screen TV as sort of like an open curtain, like theater style. We've got the portraits hanging from every one of our doors that go to the bedrooms and bathrooms and stuff like that, and we've got the gargoyles with the candles, you know, from the stretching room on our tower speakers, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I mean, this would be something amazing to have in the collection. And the question that I have actually is, I know that these are all kind of like in different sizes, like we were talking about earlier. But is whatever size is available, is that the only size available, or can you order them in different sizes?
No, that's all that's available. Now, sometimes, say for instance, like the hitchhiking ghost that you have up there right now.
Yeah.
I just have to point out that was the first Haunted Mansion piece ever published outside of the park. So I have that.
Oh, wow.
No, Joe.
Right? You wouldn't imagine, but when I found that out, I was like, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
But you could see, like, this one here is 20 by 10 or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
But they do have limited editions available. So this one, for example, is one of 1,500, but then they have larger versions that come signed with certificates of authenticity, and they're a bit more money. They're like, there's probably it there. If you scroll just a little bit more, you'll see it's probably like $5.95.
Yeah, there's one here of the Haunted Mansion itself.
Yeah, there's Haunted Mansion.
And this one says it's a limited edition of 195. So
yeah.
Oh, I love you can even zoom in and everything. This is a great site.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you always want to make everything your own. That's pretty important.
Definitely. And there's even a page 2. And there's even like another, there's more about you on here. There's a full bio that's like a page long here. This is amazing. I love that.
Yeah, it's gotten so much longer since then too. You know, the things that I've experienced are, I mean, miraculous. There's no question about it.
Now, I got a couple more questions loaded here. For some of the ones like, say, like Minnie Mouse here, you know, we've had some people that do the voices of these characters, these iconic Disney characters, and Minnie Mouse was definitely one of them. That we had Caitlin Robrock on the show recently. Have you had a chance to meet her, and has she ever signed any of your work?
I have that particular print. Whenever I do a piece that gets published in limited edition, I get a certain amount for myself, and so I brought my assortment with me at an event recently, and she signed all of them.
Oh, all of them!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
wow!
So
that is so special.
I try to keep one for myself, and then the others I make available to whoever might want to buy them. You know, so.
Any other voice actors or actors in general who you've done portraits of their characters have signed pictures as well, or even like maybe Imagineers for the rides and stuff like that, like Haunted Mansion?
I don't know if you can see this one.
Here, let me stop sharing here so we can see that better.
This one is signed by Paige O'Hara and Robbie Benson.
Wow!
Right?
Oh my goodness!
They were the
voices. Yeah.
I love that.
That is so cool.
So that's my personal one for sure. I can't get into that. And I've got pieces that are signed by Floyd Norman and Bernie Mattinson, Rick Law.
Yep, we know Rick. He's at MouseCon a lot too.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned his name because I need to get him on too. I've been
oh
having
my
so
gosh,
many.
I know that he would love to do it. He's such a great
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. We also had Chad Fry on before. Super nice guy. I mean, I've known him since my first MouseCon that I ever went to.
I remember meeting Chad. He was so nice. He did a lot of
Yeah.
of the old cartoons, like Winnie the Pooh, the original, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, he actually
I don't
gave
know who
us
that is.
chat. Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to go and check our prior episode. I think we had him on last. It was like near the end of last year. I think. I'm pretty sure.
And what's
Didn't
his
he
claim
work
to
on Mulan? Or
I'm sorry.
Sorry. You said he. I don't remember if he worked on Mulan or not. We have so many people on. I lose track of all the information. And
remember.
I'm turning 54, so my memory is not getting to be any better as I get older. Obviously, so that's why we keep them on YouTube so that I can go back and remind myself what they've done and what who we've had on before.
Time capsule.
And as C. Andrew Nelson says, I'd love to see Tom paint a Star Wars portrait. I think he's making a hint. You ever done Vader before?
I will tell you this, that I'm not licensed to paint Star Wars, but anyone can paint anything as a one of a kind. So I have painted some Star Wars characters that I can't really, I'm not really able to post, but I guess I can mention, because word got out that Stage 9, when I was mentioning that he did this spiral staircase going down to the underground vault. That was an addition he did about 2 years ago. And at the top of the staircase, there was this large wall, and he commissioned me to do a 7-foot by 7-foot painting for the top of the stairs. And what we decided on was that this piece should incorporate all the franchises that he carries, or at least a good majority of them. So this piece had to be done where it could not be for sale, and no prints could be available, because when you start overlapping franchises, you've got the license holder for Star Wars versus this license holder for DC Comics versus this. I'm not allowed to paint the part, but included all these different things. So I did include Darth Vader. I did include Yoda. It had Batman, Superman, Iron Man. It had the Tiki Room. It had the clock tower from
Back to the Future.
No, from Small World. The smiling,
gotcha.
Smiling face guy.
Yeah.
What else? It had Woody. It had.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty epic piece, if I don't mind saying so myself. So yes, I'll send Lord Vader an image of what I did in a message, because we are friends on Facebook. So I'll send an image. So thanks for asking. I do wish that I could paint.
Yeah, he says, "How cool is that?"
It is. It's pretty cool, and yeah, like I said,
because I could see some of your art. Like I could see the style of your art, and I can picture Boba Fett in my head, or even Grogu, and of course Darth Vader and stuff like that. I could,
for sure.
I know. Am I driving you crazy with this?
My style was developed to do portraits, and so and most animation is 2D, and I'm finding shapes and shadows of a human face. So to do live action is where my strongest pieces. So you saw that the Davy Jones that I did from Pirates of the Caribbean. So Star Wars would be an absolutely perfect fit for my style.
Yeah.
I'm just not allowed to do it. Although the publisher did see the work. So they're aware of me, which was half the reason why I wanted to do it. Yeah, you can see how the
dimension.
Yeah, the dimension, it really comes to life there. in doing live action stuff. But the problem is, who wants live action beast painting when we want the original, right? See, that's what you want to put in your
I
house.
would, yeah.
Simba, you want the original, right? You don't want
right.
the one that resonates with and tugs on our heartstrings.
Totally.
Mm.
So, Josh, what have you been working on lately besides your books? You got any new pins you want to talk about? Any new things available for sale? Any new collaborations for pins? Because I know we got Lilo and Stitch movie coming out pretty soon, the live action, and
I know
Snow White.
I'm excited for Lilo and Stitch.
Me too.
He's my favorite. So maybe get Chris Sanders to sign one of your Stitch paintings. That'd be cool. No, I just did 2 pin designs with Terry Hardin this year. She did the Chalk Walk pin last year, and she did again this year, which they're currently being made. And then there's one she's doing for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland, which is in the works right now. But for myself, nothing really new. I did a Stork pin of the Mr. Stork from Dumbo that was carrying like a bundle that was either pink or blue. And yeah, that was because there was like a nurse in a receiving ward or whatever that she messaged me on Etsy, and she's like, "Do you have any pins like this?" And it was like a Stork pin that was just carrying a bundle. And I was like, "No, but like you can get those online." Like, because she asked if I was the one that did them, and it's just a stork. And I said, well, I can make some, but I'm going to make it like the stork from Dumbo with some slight variations to it because he's a known character. Like, people know Mr. Stork. So I did those, and she got like half the order and to hand out to new mommies, and then the rest I saw on my site. But yeah, I haven't done any big things in a while just because time-wise and stuff. But
Josh, when you do...
Joshua.
When you do those pins, is there a minimum order that you've got to place for those? Or you like if I said, do me a pin of Darth Vader, you can do a pin and have only one made, or do you have to have at least 10 done, 100?
There's I have found there's no minimum, but depending on the size, the mold fee itself could be anywhere from $40 to $120 just for the mold. Then the price per pin, then shipping. So if I get a box of, let's say, 100 pins, it's like $120 to ship it here from China. So you get one pin, and it's going to cost you well over $100. Just to get it. I did just do a custom pin commission for Ace of Spades. I posted on my Facebook a couple days ago, and she got 8. So I had 10 made because I always get 2 for myself, one for me and then one for Ashley to put on her board of, just so I have one of the things that I made. So right now my client who got them, she's mailing me the 2 extras. So she got 8, and that's the smallest amount I've ever done. And it was a little over $100, and the pins are like this big. So
how special for that person, right? It's probably well worth $100 for having custom pins made like that. That's awesome. Yeah.
I've done
Joshua, how do you make the pins? Oh, the artwork.
I draw it. Do I have an example on me? I don't have one near me. I'll draw it like on paper. I'll pencil sketch it, and I'll scan it to the computer, trace it on Photoshop, because you have to have like perfectly dark lines, kind of like a coloring book. So I'll trace it with Photoshop with the pencil size, a certain size, with the pixel size, 12 inches by 12 inches. So it's all perfect. And then I color fill it just like Paint Bucket in the old.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like Paint Bucket. You just fill each shape because that's how it's going to be filled. And then send the artwork out. Pick the size that you want. Usually I'll send a picture of like a pin I currently did. Like I just did this one last year for the Antiques and Collectibles podcast. This one last year.
Oh.
And they actually came to MouseCon last year. Vince came to our booth. But like I'll send pictures of it on a scale, with lines to say this is 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2 1/4, whatever, just so you could see a good size. And there's an image of a quarter next to it, so you get a good idea of what it is. Or if I've done a pin before that's the same shape shape-ish in size, I'll take a picture of it in my hand so you could see like how big it is. And like that's how Terry and I picked the size for this last pin we did. But
that makes it really special that you hand draw it, Joshua. That it actually is very personalized.
Yeah, some of them aren't, like the one I just did of the
Totally are
Ace
the
of
best.
Spades. Thank you. I did a Darth Vader pin, and we had 200 of them made, and I split them with Andrew. So I had
He says your pins are the best.
They are. I gave him half of my Vader pins, and then the other half he signed for me, and then I have my sign to sell, or half to sell, and then he has his. But I have done a Vader pin, and it was my first pin on pin. So it was like Vader's hand reaching out, but it was like stacked.
Oh,
so it was like
yeah.
2 layers of pins, so the hand looked, it was bigger.
It was
than the rest of
dimensional.
the pin, so it looked like he was reaching out.
Neat.
Like that. Yeah, but like the pin for the Ace of Spades that I just did, that said 2024 on it. That I just did in Photoshop. I didn't like draw that out because I used like the
Josh,
text.
do you need licensing? Like if you're doing a Darth Vader pin, how does that work? Are you just going, well, I'll take my chance, and if they
that's
there's
it.
No such
We
thing
just
as bad press, right?
Yeah, they're fantasy pins, so they're made by fans, and it's just like here's some pins, and then that's it. They're not like in a store somewhere. And there's thousands of us that do it. There's so many pin makers out there that just make pins, and I don't always do just Disney. So like that Ace of Spades that I just did is in. I did one for our health department here in our county, and they got like 1,000 pins.
Wow.
I did one for the police department for Daly City. But that was Mickey Mouse. So I guess that is Disney, but there's Mickey Mouse as a police officer. But there are some that I do that aren't actually Disney or other themes. Not so many. It's mostly Disney.
When I was at Epcot this last January, February, sitting underneath Spaceship Earth, there had to be, 10 people just sitting on a curb there in the park with books open up of all these different pins for people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, what makes one pin more collectible than another? I mean, or just do people say, oh, that's never going to be worth anything, or that's highly sought after? What's exactly the game there?
A lot of it has to do with the value that people put on it. So something is only as valuable as what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So like, oh, we just spent this much money making a Snow White movie. This is great. It's going to be the biggest movie ever. And then it comes out, and then, the amount of people that want to go see it are not what they expected. So it's not, this is one of Disney's biggest flops ever that just came out. And that's just how it is. It's like supply and demand. I've made pins where I'm like, this is so cute, this Cheshire cat in a little teacup. And then, nope, people aren't really interested. And I'm like, man, it was so cute. I like it.
That sounds like fun. Yeah. I don't collect pins, but I would get it.
Yeah. I mean, pin trading started in 1999 officially at Disney parks, and people started trading them. My pins cannot be traded in the
fun
park.
facts.
Wait, say it again. Pin trading officially started in 1999?
In 1999 in the Disney parks. Huh. So there have been pins around by Disney, but it wasn't until 1999 where they started making more, and then we could trade with each other. And then people started trading at that point, and Disney's now done tens of thousands of different pin designs, official licensed ones. But like the backs of my pins, they're just flat. They don't, like the back of this one just says 2024 on it. It doesn't say Disney. It doesn't have the waffle Mickey head pattern on it. So it's not like they're trying to pass them off as official Disney pins. They're just, so those can't be traded in the park. I was interviewed on the Disney pin trading documentary.
Oh, nice.
By Parkology.
Oh, hello there,
Yeah,
Mr. Jerry
buddy.
Cornell. Shout out to you, Mr. Hello all from earlier. Yeah. The one thing that I do know of. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's about Tom. I texted him back in 2021 because I was in Solvang here in California, and I saw 3 of his paintings up in an art shop there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was Stitch, and then 2 other ones. I can't remember what they were now. They didn't allow photographs in the store. It said no cameras, so I had to take it on the DL with my phone. So I only took the picture of the Stitch to send it to them.
Pictures. All right.
They just
it's funny when I get
the art. There was sculptures and stuff in there too.
Neat.
Sculpts. I just don't. Yeah, but it's just a random. It's a random town. Solvang. It's not like
Huh.
at a Disney park. Or didn't you say you have yours in Carmel?
Yeah, my non-Disney stuff is in Carmel.
Okay.
Some of
Okay.
it, and Hawaii, and I am pursuing a gallery in South Lake Tahoe right now. I'm courting them. It was recommended I check them out, so I went and introduced myself, and I got to say that it was a pretty good ego boost for me because I walked in and they said, hi, how are you? Welcome. Can we help you? I said, well, I came up to introduce myself. My name's Tom. They were like, oh, we know who you are. And I was like, cool. Because I want to be in this gallery, so that's kind of the reason why I'm creating this new body of work, is to woo them a little bit, and hopefully they'll say, yeah, we want to have you here, because the location is excellent for me. I love the mountains more than anything, so it'd be an excuse to go up there. Shipping is a nightmare. I really don't like shipping art, and so if I can just go deliver it. They do shows where some galleries don't do shows featuring artists. They sell prints. They'll do prints of the work. Their terms are excellent. So it's just it would be a win-win-win for me. So keep it in your prayers. That's what I'm hoping for right now.
Fingers crossed for you, Tom.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thanks. I'll let you know.
Okay, so we're already past our hour, but it's okay.
No,
We can
okay,
let it go
I'm
a little
sorry.
bit longer. No. We're good. It happens sometimes. I try to keep to an hour just so people don't fall asleep at the wheel. But I got two fun facts that I think I can put out from that last piece of conversation. So Carmel is where you said that you have your non-Disney stuff, right? Carmel.
Yeah.
Former mayor is Clint Eastwood, right? Did I just see you mouth that, Josh?
What?
What?
No.
Not me.
What?
For you listeners out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember how long he was mayor for. Was it mayor? It was mayor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how long he was mayor for, but it seemed like it was a really long time, wasn't it? It was a few years, several years at least.
Yeah, it's I mean, dude, there was one of the executives at Pixar was like the mayor of a town here too. I can't remember what it was. I wrote about it in my Pixar section. But I'm like, it's just weird. I guess people who have these these careers doing this big thing can also do, political stuff. When I got married in 2002, the mayor of Brentwood also owned an Italian restaurant, and he's the one that delivered our food.
What?
So the mayor of Brentwood delivered my food to my first wedding.
Wow.
Here's your dinner. Vote for me. Re-election's coming up. Yeah. How odd.
Yeah.
And then the other fun fact.
Job, it's like, it's not like, if you're not going to get into politics where you're going to work your way up to like governor of the state or president, and you were just like, oh, I'm going to help out my town. There's a town in Alaska that has a cat.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I believe it too. I mean, I've seen weirder things, but that is
Is
pretty
it
crazy.
perfect? Yes.
Oh my god! All right, that's our show. I'm cutting it off at this point. Leia's starting to do dad jokes now. That's when it's starting to get late.
Yeah, the yawn's coming in.
The other fun fact I was going to talk about was pin trading, and that is at least the last that I heard is that if you are a guest in the park and you want to do pin trading and you see a cast member walking around that has a lanyard with pins on it and you want to trade something, they have to trade with you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And
if no saying no.
If you have a known scrapper, so if you have a pin that's a knockoff Disney pin and they know it is, they still have to trade with you for your kid. And then they have to get rid of them at the end of their shift. Like then they put it like in their pocket. They won't trade it to keep it circulating, because people will buy a pack of pins on eBay for $20 and they'll get 100 pins. Those are not actual Disney pins. They're made from the molds of Disney pins, because Disney has their pins made in India and China and one other place. And then Disney's like, okay, we're done. But then those companies, employees or whatever, will like use the molds, have more pins made, or they're pins that didn't pass the quality control to move on to get the back stamp. But then these garbage pins get taken and they get fake back stamped, and then they end up going in circulation.
Wow.
There's all different ways that scrappers can get made, but they're not like somebody seeing it. Oh, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna copy exactly that. Like these things already exist, then you just make a copy of a copy, so to speak. Though you different kind of metal, cheaper metal, different. The colors will be slightly off. Just recently,
Patricia says, I just recently learned about the FAC numbers on legitimate ones. What's FAC stand for? Do you know?
The FAC numbers? I don't.
FAC.
There's new stuff happens all the time, and
fake as crap. I don't know.
That's good, but they have like the logo on it in the middle is really, really small. Like I can't even see it with my glasses on. You have to use a magnifying glass.
Oh yeah,
and the ones that are knockoffs are they're crappily done.
Yeah,
we
right.
She says she has no idea. Since I work at the parks, basically we put the bad ones in a baggie, and then the baggie gets full, and then eventually like that baggie gets taken to where you're talking about. So, and then like we had to have trivia pins also. So like for like the avid pin traders who really want good pins, they'll just say, "Oh, do you have any trivia pins?" We have to be prepared with trivia questions and.
I've seen them do that for After Dark events, like even for Star Wars Night. I think they were asking questions about the Mandalorian, or no, it was Ahsoka at the time that was really hot, and they were asking questions about that and giving pins away as rewards for getting things right.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, well, we're going to wrap up the show with just a little bit of Disney news here. It's going to be very, very short, I promise. So hang in there for just a little bit longer, guys. But it wouldn't be Disney news without the intro first. So let's go ahead and get that out.
The main gate magic news.
All right, so I usually kind of start things off with talking about ride closures at the Disneyland parks because it'd be too much to go through all the Disney parks in the U.S. But currently at Disney California Adventure, the only thing that's closed right now is the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. So, Thomas, can you confirm, like, is Guardians of the Galaxy reopened? Because remember the last time that we talked about it, that was closed because of the construction that's going on for the new Avengers Campus stuff.
Yeah, it's still closed. You can still shop in the store, and also the show that happens on top of Avengers Campus is not happening right now.
All the shows that they do up at top of the hangar and everything.
Yeah, like even cast members who are not, because usually if you don't work in Avengers Campus, you can't cross through. But because of all the construction, people have to walk through now. So that whole back place behind Avengers Campus is under construction. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that information. And we head over to Disneyland now, where Meet Tinkerbell and Pixie Hollow is still closed. It's a Small World, still closed. Indiana Jones Adventure, I think that was still closed the last time that we talked about it. It is still closed as well. I feel like that ride is always going down for refurbishment. The Disney Gallery, speak of the devil, is currently closed right now. And the Disneyland Story Presenting Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is closed. And we keep talking about this. It's because of the changeover they're doing for adding Walt Disney as part of the show, which I don't know about the new people that have joined us on the show, but I am very, very much looking forward to that. I know that there are some skeptics out there, but I think it would be amazing to see him. I'm just going to put Air Bunnies in person, because the closest I've ever gotten to seeing a real life Walt Disney besides just on the big screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And then one other piece of news that I wanted to show, and I actually just found this today. It was kind of like a last minute thing that I saw, and I couldn't believe my eyes, but it just says, I'm just going to read it directly from the site. It says, breaking news, and brace yourselves. It says Disney World is closing permanently. And I'm just going to read the article verbatim here. It says, according to the April 1st press release, Disney is set to close their doors permanently at the end of 2025. Because of this, they are halting all construction on new projects. And that's a lot, because they actually did have a lot of new stuff announced at D23. Disney is struggling financially, primarily due to a significant decline in theme park attendance. The main factor driving this is a massive increase to the cost to visit Disney World. It used to be a fairly affordable place to go, and now it isn't. They're being very blunt about this. They tried accepting food stamps to help, which we reported here, but that didn't work. Disney is also making a lot of poor choices with their theme parks. They are closing a ton of rides that are nostalgic to their visit. I can't even continue reading without a straight face. as you guys, of course, know that this is not real news. This is directly from mousetrapnews.com. They are well known for doing fake Disney articles. I told myself I was going to read it with a straight face, but when I got to the food stamp part, I'm like, okay, I can't even take this anymore. So our gift to you guys, a little April Fool's article
That
there
was
for you
great.
to end the show. Patricia's got a little funny laughing face, and she says they're actually moving it to Tennessee in a merger with Hollywood.
Good one, Patricia.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up now, guys. Tom, first time on the show. Really appreciate you taking some time off to join our little gang. It was really nice chatting with you, and I appreciate you sharing all your stories. It was a great chat.
I appreciate it.
Amazing.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for having me.
Nice to meet you.
And
Nice
Josh,
to meet you
as
all.
usual,
You too.
very, very awesome to have you on here. You know you are always welcome on this show, and I love having you on here. You're a good friend. And thanks for getting Tom on the show, because it was because of your connection we were able to get him on here to share those stories. So,
It's
speaking
funny
of
because he's the first one I thought of.
Oh, really?
I like when we get someone on, and I'm like, Tom. Yeah, I was
perfect.
I knew some of the people you've already interviewed that we know together, but I'm like, he doesn't know Tom. So I'm like,
no, I've never
never
met him before.
Yeah.
But I have seen his work before. I mean, that's the crazy thing, is that I know his work. I've seen the style of it before, but because I don't actually have like art in my house, and I'm not really much of an artsy person except for the stuff that I like to draw, which is basically like, I need to flesh out my stick figures someday and see how it turns out. But I mean, I still appreciate it, and I love what you do, and it's obviously, you're doing something right here. I think you're doing something great here. And then of course, Leia and Thomas, thank you guys again, of course, for joining us, and everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Another fun-filled episode. Next week, we actually have a guest that's going to kick off our countdown to May the 4th. And his name is Mr. David Gonzalez. And for those who don't know who David is, I'm going to share my screen again for the last time on this episode here. He played a character named Akrev from Return of the Jedi. So that gentleman that you see there with the ugly face mask and banging the taiko drum in front of the Han Solo frozen in carbonite, that is him. And he still comes to shows, and he brings that massive taiko drum with him to pound on every once in a while. And you got to be in front of this thing. It'll make your whole chest rattle. So we're going to have him on the show next Tuesday. Actually, I take that back. We are going to be on the air next Wednesday at 6 p.m. So that is going to be on, let's see, what date is that? That is going to be the 9th of April, everybody. So if you're listening to this, watching it, the invitation or the link is already up on our Facebook account and our YouTube account. It is not going to be on Tuesday at 6. It's going to be on Wednesday the 9th at 6 p.m. We're doing it this way to help accommodate David's schedule. So we're really grateful that he was able to come on the show, and we're doing what we can to help accommodate him by doing it on a different day. So we will see you all then. Thanks for joining, and have a great evening, everybody. Take care.
Thanks again.